Yo, what's up guys, welcome back. It's been 1 week from the release of Need for Speed Unbound and there's been a lot of mixed opinions in the past week whether the game is actually a war getting or is it just a copy of Need for Speed Heat with some crazy driving effects. So today I will go through some pros and cons of the brand new Need for Speed Unbound. And to start things off, let's talk about the graphics. Graphics in this game are absolutely mind-blowing. There is a huge improvement in lighting and textures from a previous Need for Speed Heat. The most noticeable improvement is at daylight, where the lighting from the sun is phenomenal, and the game isn't even using ray tracing technology. And also gameplay at nighttime is much better than it was in Need for Speed Heat, where everything was more darker and the reflections were not that good. That's probably because Need for Speed Unbound was solely made for the next-gen consoles and PC, so they could truly use their whole potential. With great graphics comes even greater map. The map in Need for Speed Heat was cool, yeah, but this one grew on me immediately. The city of Rockport is much more lively than the Palm City was in Need for Speed Heat, where the city felt empty. There are a few things that caught my eye. The first thing is that they added pedestrians, that instantly bring more life. The traffic is also much denser than it was in previous Need for Speed titles, which when exploring around the city is cool, but when racing it can sometimes be annoying when constantly colliding with traffic. And the last thing that brings life to this city is all the small alleys, construction sites, coffee shops, passageways, underground sections and many more little details that make a big difference. And also, the countryside feels awesome to explore with different suburbs, industrial zones, farms, awesome serpentine roads and so on. The single player story is not jaw-dropping, but it's still pretty cool. Yeah, it's predictable and racing becomes repetitive, but you can't expect a story with a bunch of twists and turns, because at the end of the day this is still a racing game and not a GTA. And it's interesting to see some reference with Need for Speed Most Wanted. Like in that game, here you are also racing to get back your stolen car, this time a Nissan Silvia. And what I found really nice as well was an Easter egg mission where you need to deliver BMW M3 GTR from Need for Speed Most Wanted to some guy that was just released from jail. Another positive thing with Need for Speed Unbound is that you can actually build your car for grip racing, so it has a proper grip handling. Well, not to get too excited, there is still a room for improving the handling model, but it's still a huge improvement over the previous titles and definitely a step in the right direction. I'm still waiting to get the same kind of police chases we had in Need for Speed Most Wanted, but I'm honestly surprised that this time police pursuits actually don't suck like they did in Need for Speed Heat. Removal of a kill switch from Need for Speed Heat, which was total pain in the ass, and having a chance to crash cops without hurting their car too much are just two things that made police pursuits, at least in my opinion, better than they were in Need for Speed Heat. We've already got used to Need for Speed being the most wholesome game when it comes down to customization options. Regarding the car's customization options, they added a few new options like ability to paint calipers and tint your headlights, but this year they also presented a character customization, where you can choose from different designer clothes, hairstyles and colors, and much more. With this next one, a lot of people will probably not agree with me, but let's take aside the horrible voice acting and that characters' face mimics are not synced while talking. I truly think that this year the character dialogue is not as cringy as it was in previous two titles. Plus the dialogue sometimes feels much more diverse, like you talking to Rydell about NBA playoffs and Rydell explaining to you what he found on social media. And when mentioning dialogue, even the police radio chatter is something I actually enjoy listening to. Now, enough of positive things. There are definitely some flaws we need to talk about as well. And the main one is drifting, which is total dog shit. Yeah, I wasn't really expecting they will do some major improvements over it, but at least for me, coming from drifting games like Assetto Corsa, which is very much like a real-life drifting, it's super pain in the ass trying to drift with this stupid physics. I can even say the drifting in Need for Speed Heat was better than it is here. Steering is so snappy that it's hard to transition from corners, and good luck trying to hold a stable long drift for more than a few seconds. I was really disappointed with drifting in this game, and I can't wait for people like Hadas and people from Unite team to make new better handling models for drifting. We've already talked about story, but I feel like a story could be longer for a game worth $70. I really took my time, but I still finished it in 15 hours, and that's playing on intense difficulty. and after finishing, the game quickly becomes boring with not much to do. Even the online becomes quickly boring as well. The ability to only play classic races and not being able to do other events like drifting or tag game like in Forza Horizon makes online like a one-night stand. And that there is only an option to play a whole playlist, not just a single race, is also not acceptable. Plus, getting in a race filled with all the spots is practically impossible if you're not forming a party before. I wouldn't necessarily say that music is bad. There are 3 or 4 songs that I actually like, but I feel like that there is not much diversity. Like, not everybody likes rap or trap style. For me it's cool, yeah, but I understand that people have different tastes, so it might be better to include more genres, like they did in Forza Horizon. Surprisingly, I like the driving effects from time to time. It makes the game more chaotic, but still this is a racing game, and not some cartoonish shit, and I would love to see an option to turn them off completely. And they even promised there will be, but I guess they were lying, because there is no option to turn them off completely. One more thing I don't like is anime characters. And don't get me wrong, I like anime, they cool, but anime characters together with street racing scene, nah, this just doesn't feel right. I still cannot believe that EA is not able to make controls binding script, to bind your control buttons as you wish, so you don't have to lift off gas every time you want to manually upshift the gears, and making kung fu moves with your fingers when trying to downshift while braking. And that will be all the hating I had to say. But don't get me wrong, I don't actually hate the game. In my opinion, it's the best Need for Speed they made in the past 12 years, so I'm definitely happy that I bought it. But that's just my opinion. Tell me yours down in the comments, because I would really like to see what other people think about this Need for Speed. And with that said, I'll finish the video here. If you enjoyed it, smash that like button and subscribe if you haven't yet, because I post every week, so you won't miss any future content. And as always, have a great day, and I'll catch you in the next one.